into this shit.
Let's get ready to rumble.
So, gentlemen, hello. Welcome back to D&D this week. We began the session last time with the team bringing aboard the Garga Crab's smouldering corpse, which your crew quickly began to cut down to eatable chunks for eating later. Whilst this happened, Felix checked on their guests in the Sea Elven Prince and General, who were all pretty much fine. Gylndan and Felix had a chat then about the plan for the day, and though they haven't had much time to interact, the two spoke on trust and how they might move forward with their plan. Oramis spoke to Frank and Mason on their roles on the ship and how they might improve, and Kaiman gulped down some delicious roasted crab. The next morning, Nasir came to you, and you went through the plan. Felix and Oramis failed at holding their contempt for him, but he continued to work with you nonetheless. After a brief argument, he teleported you to the jungle. The Silverhold Isle, a quiet place where he warned you that where he was taking you was unpatrolled due to a den of displacer beasts nearby. He also warned of some arcane runes of counterspell he placed on Rash'ak at his request a few days ago. After another brief argument, he dimension doored away. While stuck in the jungle, you had the sudden realization that tonight was the night that tonight was the night of the full moon, and where Ponsky was to turn feral. After some quick thinking, you all came together to help Felix with a fabricate spell and create a pretty great werewolf cage, actually, fair play. However, whilst testing the cage, you attracted the attention of the local population of displacer beasts, and after they failed to sneak up on you, initiative was quickly rolled. They have proven ferocious creatures with their sharp claws, piercing teeth, and strange illusion-based abilities. One of them has been killed so far by Nathan, but we shall see whether the predators will become the prey as we pick up initiative with Vaishal, who I said last week was an owlbear. I misread his ability, so actually Vaishal is just a big fuck-off cave bear instead.
I just thought we were all there like, I swear he had a beak. I swear it.
Yeah, so instead of a big, instead of a, owlbear, he is now just a regular bear, very, very large, with this sort of like grey skin, but still these sort of patches of fur that make up this strange bronze pattern, this shining bronze pattern over his back, sort of in the fur. And he is really, really quickly just going to try and fuck up some displacer beasts. The green one next to him that is currently attacking, that was attacking Oramis. I think he's going to try and nab. So let's see if he gets out to 17 plus stuff and another 17 plus stuff for the bite and claws. Both of those hit. So I'll deal the 9 plus 12. Nice. So that's 21 points of damage to this creature. Next up, we go with the Reds, who now. So you realised which one is illusion, which one hasn't. You blasted Gylndan, the red one, into the sort of like 15-foot cliff ridge next to you. And as it's reeling, you see the illusion of it sort of quickly run back into its space. And instead of creating a new illusion, this illusion almost begins to move around in its space, displacing it, almost like it's blurred within its space, giving you disadvantage on any attack rolls to potentially hit it.
Disadvantage is fireball, bitch.
But it is going to get right up in your face and try and eat you because it didn't like you hurting it before. So it makes 3 attacks. The first is definitely a miss, 3. Second is an unnatural 20. And the third is a 23.
I will shield.
Okay.
Which I believe stops the second one, but not the third.
Yeah, so it jumps in with its bite, but you manage to block it with your staff.
Was
and
it
with the
dirty
claws.
20?
Yeah, it was a dirty 20, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, all good.
I believe you should be able to shield that. So yeah, first one, you block with your staff. The second sort of claw that comes in, block with the shield, but then it comes around with the claw from underneath, getting around your shield. So that is 3 plus 4. That is 10 points of slashing damage.
You're so dead when the next turn comes around.
And then it is going to... it can see Thingy's big sword. Oh, what they have an ability with their claws. Yeah, also with a claw attack, it can move you in 5 feet in the direction it chooses, so it's going to move you slightly away from your friend there, and then it's going to come around sort of here against you, just to sort of like get away from Mazzy a little bit and just have you a little more just to itself, I guess you could say. Actually, it's going to come more here, I think.
I guess Matt isn't turning up tonight then.
Oh, yeah, I guess not. There we go. Maybe next week, maybe when it's back to Thursdays.
Maybe never. Maybe never.
Might be back, maybe never. Who knows? But there we go. Then we go with... Oh, fucking hell, Ponsky. Ponsky runs here, makes 3 attacks. Felix, have a think about what you're going to do as Ponsky just makes some attacks. That's a miss. That's a miss. Come on, Ponsky. There we go. Ponsky finally hits it. 4 plus 4 is 8 points of slashing damage. Ponsky, that was a shit turn by you. I expected more.
From what I've seen, we didn't need to build the cage.
Yeah, he runs in and tries to bite it, but its tentacle almost like brushes him past. Another claw attack, it's too quick, but as it sort of gets by, lunges a little too far and manages to just slice down his nose. Not a massive damaging attack, but certainly a bit of damage. Felix, what are you up to?
I believe we identified which of the blue ones was an illusion last time.
We did indeed, yes. It is the one that is currently on fire, which is this one. The one with the little flame symbol next to it.
Okay.
You saw Kaiman punch it, and it ignited in flames in this jungle.
Okay. In which case, I will cast a real quick. Where's it gone? Where's it gone? Right way down there. Green flame blade to attack. Oh, I need to roll to hit first with my sword. That's not gone well.
Sadly, a 13 does not hit as it dodges out the way. Even though it's on fire, it manages to dodge sneakily out the way.
Alright, well, I will just try and hit it again then. Good start.
Yeah, so you've gone in with your sword, maybe a little too confident. Also trying not to get caught by the flames yourself. And you've just sort of held back a little more than you should, and it's just sort of retreated back in its own space.
I looked at that too and thought, well, it can't get any worse.
Oh, but it can.
Oh, but it can.
It can indeed. Is that everything on your turn?
Yes.
You do have your dragon as well.
Yeah, so that is just going to do the same thing and attempt 2 attacks as well. So 14 plus 11, I think. No, plus 10.
That hits.
And 5 plus 10.
5 plus 10 misses, sadly.
Okay, so 1d6 plus 9.
5 plus 9, 14.
14 damage.
Cool. Nicely done. Then, funnily enough, it is Blue's turn. And Blue, it doesn't like the dragon, it doesn't like you, but it also doesn't like Kaiman. Actually, at the start of its turn, it needs to make a con save against the fire. So, let's see if it can do that. That is a 10, so that's a fail. Kaiman, do you want to roll me 1d6 for the fire damage that you are using against it?
Oh.
5. Nice. 6. Yeah, you hear this thing like growling and roaring as it's and trying to sort of like spin and turn in its place, but it's not. quite getting it. So it's just going to lash out, and it's going to do. I think it's just going to do an attack against Kaiman at advantage with his. No, it's going to do his 2 claws against the dragon and Felix, and then a bite against Kaiman. So the dragon, that's going to be a 21.
Yeah.
Against Felix, that's going to be another 21. And against Kaiman, that is going to be a 24. Some good hits.
Oh, sorry, no, 21 against Felix won't hit.
21 against Felix won't hit. Nice. So against the dragon, that is 4 is 13 points of slashing damage. And Kaiman against you, that is 4 plus 1, 5 plus 4. That is 9 points of piercing damage, and you are grappled by this thing. So it manages to sort of like move around your massive shield, bite onto your leg, and it's just not letting go. You currently grappled, your speed is 0.
So you are approaching me.
It is indeed.
Fell right into my trap.
Next up is Oramis. Oramis, what you doing? This displacer beast in front of you is moving and shimmering and shifting, much the same as the red one is. You would have disadvantage on any attacks against it.
Okay.
Not to say you can't make attacks against it.
Yeah, I'm still gonna make a little attacky poos when my character sheet decides to load up.
Cool.
Okay. Shadow Blade. Yeah.
14 sadly misses this thing. You think it's gone left, but that was just a duplicate. You slash it the wrong way. Actually 13, which, yeah, still misses.
How about how about a 14? Does that hit?
14 also misses. Again, so you think like you slash left, and you're like, oh no, it must be right then, but it's shifted and its illusion has gone the other way.
How about a little bonus action?
You need this, Luke.
You need this.
How about a conceal blade? Does a 10 hit?
And for the final sort of insult, you're just like, ah, and you try and just jab at its front. And that's an illusion as well. And as you sort of jab at its front, you realize it's now moved left and just snarls at you. And it's weird. You've never seen like a panther or tiger or displacer beast smile. But it certainly is somewhat smiling at you, almost like this is playful for it. Against you.
What I've learned from Felix and Oramis is that the higher your modifier is, the less likely you are to hit.
Yeah,
so we should all be rolling. Any attack you've got that's +1, whip it out now.
This has been some interesting rolls here. Funnily enough, green does go next. So green is going to... green is going to... Yeah, okay, here's what it's going to do. It's going to move away from you, Oramis, so you get an attack of opportunity.
Oh, I can't wait to miss. Oh, does a 23 hit?
A 23 does hit.
Do I also get...
You do not get sneak attack, because it's with disadvantage. But you do deal 12 damage, so not bad. So that's... but still, yeah, pretty good hit as it's running away. You just catch its tail and cut a deep scar on its tail. It runs back here. That's 5, 10, 15, 20. And then using the rest of its movement, it charges back at you again.
Oh, nice.
So it sort of like runs back around from you as if it's going to run away, and then quickly turns on the spot, thinking it's being very, very clever. Of course it's not. And that means it gets to make a bonus action. It's going to basically use its pounce ability. So it leaps, tries to leap on top of you. Can you make me a strength saving throw, please? Actually, you don't need to make it yet, so long as this attack hits, which it does with a 27. So can you make me 26. Can you make me a strength saving throw? 8. You are knocked prone, and this thing is on top of you.
Nice.
And you take 6 plus 3 is 9 plus 4 is 13 points of slashing damage.
How much? 13?
13, yeah. And that was its bonus action, because of its pounce ability,
no.
so it still gets 3 attacks. So it's going to make a slash back against the bear. The bear, I think that just hits a bear. What's a polar bear's AC? 12. Nice. So yes, that does just hit the bear. So that is 9. And then it's going to make its bite and claw attack at advantage against you, Oramis. Thank God for that advantage. Oh, that's still... Does a 16 hit you?
Nope.
Nope, 16 misses. The first bite you manage to duck out of the way and its snout just goes into the floor. But then its claw attack, that's a 19 to hit you.
That hits, obviously.
Cool, so that is... Oh, double ones on the dice. That is 6 damage.
Okay.
You are now prone, and this displacer beast is technically on top of you. Oramis is being mounted by a displacer beast. Loved it. Next up we have Kaiman. Kaiman. There is a displacer beast on fire in front of you. There's lots of them around you. What are you doing?
I'm gonna do a bonk.
He is gonna do it.
On the one attached to the foot. Good old smithing gauntlet.
16 does just hit. Yes.
Also, good job. I'm proud of you. There we go.
8 plus 13, and I believe, yeah, that is definitely enough to do it. So this thing's attached to your leg. You just sort of like turn around and go, no, bong, and it bashes it on the head, and it sort of like lets go and sort of like woozily sort of
Suck it.
as this thing is dead, and its illusion goes with it.
Good job, Cameron.
I did a good.
Oh, that was good. That was a good roll on your fire.
Leave the orange one to me.
Which
Anything
one?
else coming? Any bonus actions? Any movement?
They are already in bonking distance. So, oh wait, I can. There's a spell. Oh wait, no, I'm already. Oh, I'm already using it, I think. Wait, why do these spells have red things next to them now?
Oh, yeah. Sorry, that's my bad. I was looking at your character sheet and I did it automatically. They're the ones that you get from your forge, your subclass. So when you pick each spell for the day, you can't swap those ones out because you get them automatically.
So I can do. Weapons with I can make my already pretty magical gauntlet into a magic weapon.
You can.
Wait, weapon with a plus. Yeah, I'll just do that.
All right. So bonus action, you cast. I mean, your magic gauntlet is already a magical weapon, so I don't think that would work.
Oh, it doesn't because
I mean, it might stack. I don't know.
It's a magic weapon, but I'm casting magic weapon on it.
Yeah, it says you touch a non-magical weapon.
Oh, okay, never mind. What about elemental weapon? Can I do that? It's already using fire.
Elemental weapon?
Yeah. It's because.
Is that a bonus action spell?
That is.
No, it is an action.
Oh,
To cast that.
bonus action.
That also says a non-magical weapon you touch becomes a magical weapon.
God damn it! I blow a cherry at the beasts.
Which, coming from the mouth of a crocodile, is just really weird. but
is a unique
it's
sound you will never hear ever again.
Yeah. Cool. Next up is Orange, and they're not big fans of everything that's going on here. So it's going to... It's already got advantage against you, so it's just going to try and hit you, Carmen. That is 22, which I don't think hits you. Got 25, which does hit you. And oh no, I should be rolling these with advantage. So the 22 actually stays at 22 because the illusion is next to you, and you're not sure which one is the illusion or which one isn't. So as it's coming for you, it's like they're both so realistic. It's using that to its advantage. It's almost got like pack tactics, I guess. So the one still is a 25, and this one actually becomes a 23, which I believe does hit you. So
Wait,
that's...
So if my what's it called again? AC's 23. They hit me on the 23.
Yeah.
Damn
So you take 13 points of slashing damage and 8 points of slashing damage. And then this guy is going to basically form into...
Scratch me.
Form into one, and the number has been significantly reduced. They are now not thinking you. No, it'll stay here. It'll stay here. It thinks it's doing all right.
And die. Stay here and die.
Mazzy, you taking control of Mazzy, JJ, or
And
yeah.
I mean, he's gonna step up and try and defend his old pal Gylndan.
Oh, Mazzy, thank you. Shoot straight, yeah.
He's not shooting. I imagine he's trying to... 21 hits. Absolutely.
Ben, I'm a wizard. Do you think I have any idea of the technicalities of war? Stuff just comes up the end of my staff.
You don't even know how it happens. Shit just happens, you know?
Pretty much.
Gylndan never got past his teenage years.
No.
That's 11 piercing damage. Yeah, Mazzy just sort of like... He sees all the illusions, and he just sort of like, with his like long double sword, just sort of like runs in and slashes right down the middle, and just kind of really deep scar into its clavicle. It is looking extremely hurt right now. And another 21 for 15. Yeah, and with that massive cut, you can now see which one's the regular one. Brings the blade up again, and this thing just sort of flips around and sadly perishes.
Ain't nothing sad about that, Ben.
Cool. Then we have Gylndan.
And feeling motivated by my dear friend Mazzy helping me, I'll go and help my acquaintance Oramis, and I will cast Toll the Dead on this displacer beast on top of him. So that is a wisdom saving throw.
Wisdom saving throw. I don't
DC
think
19.
Unless displacer beasts are particularly... No, they have a +1. So that is a 13. That fails.
Okay, and this guy's already taken damage, isn't he?
This guy has already taken damage, yes.
So it's 3d12 instead of 3d8.
Oh!
Please be good. Oh!
Jesus Christ!
That's 2 12s and a 10.
That is more damage than most of your fireballs do. So
Yeah.
that's very incredible. And I'll tell you what, that actually does it. So this thing, like, it's on top of your Oramis. You can see, like, you can feel this drool, like, dripping down upon you, and it roars right in your face. And then all of a sudden, it just shuts its eyes and just collapses next to you. And you look up, and you can just see Gylndan standing there with his staff.
Not for the first time.
Because I'm assuming these bells, like, they go off in its mind, right? Not everyone can hear those.
I like to think it all just goes really quiet for him, and then he just sort of looks at me, and I'm like so intently staring at him, and then he just hears this like dong, and the life just leaves him.
Crazy.
Yeah.
I was crazy once. They locked me in a room. A rubber room. Rubber room with bells. Bells went crazy. Crazy.
You're right, Ryan.
You guys haven't heard that one?
No.
No.
Yep.
Oh, it's amazing.
No. Don't know why I thought you just made that up on the spot, and what worries me is that I wasn't surprised that you made that up on the spot.
You're just meant to like repeat it like 100 times until people actually think, wait, maybe this person is actually crazy.
I see. Cool.
Okay.
So
I'll
that
stay there,
is-
and then Nathan will come up to here, and Nathan will fire another. What we fought last time? Rare Frost, I think it is.
Yep. I put the wrong one on the GM there, so don't mind me. It's still there.
Yeah. Be good, Nathan. Is it with disadvantage or no?
Yes, it is with disadvantage. So a 12 sadly misses, as again Nathan thinks it's one place it isn't, and you see this ray of frost slam into the ground and just create this like frosted layer along the grass and the bushes and things just behind it. But that is Nathan. I guess going back to the top of the round.
You just back up to here, and then yeah, go on.
Going back to the top of the round, Vashal is. No, Vashal can't make it there, so he's just gonna sort of. Actually, he's gonna transform back. He feels like he's done. Feels like he's done enough. Transforms back into regular good old Vashal. And let me just quickly look at his spells. Is there any good like bonus action spells? Does the old Vashal? Yes, he does. Yeah, and he's gonna sort of step over to you, Oramis, and sort of raise a hand down to you and just says, "Come on, we best get you up." And with those words, you feel magically healed, as he's going to do a second level healing word. 4 plus 1 plus 4, so that's 9 points of health back. Nice. That's Vashal. Ponsky is going to run through all of this brush. A lot of this will be with half speed, so that's 10, 20, 30, 40. Oh, he can just make it. Get fucked, displacer beast. That hits. That definitely hits. That's a natural 20. Finally, Ponsky.
Ponsky laying down the law.
Laying down. Well, he's laying down something. So that's. I'll tell you what. He's gonna make that last bite a ravenous bite. Fuck it. So 9 plus 9, 18 damage plus the last one is a natural 20. So it needs to con save. It fails the con save, so it deals 4d10 plus. No, technically 8d10. Which is 8, 17. You know what? Fuck it. I'm doing this on roll 20. I can't be asked to roll all these dice. 8d10 plus 5.
I cannot be alive.
37 points of damage. Some of that's necrotic. It can be. This thing hasn't really been touched all that much. So that is 37. Yeah, so you see Ponsky just fucking go in on this thing, leaps on its back, just starts. And you see there is a point where his maw suddenly just gets these like red veins around it, and he bites into this creature, and suddenly these red veins begin to appear around where his bite was, almost like it's this strange, dark, cursing energy that pulses through this creature, and you can see his veins begin to bulge, and it's just this horrible thing. Ponsky then gets off and just sort of like smiles, his blood dripping down his blood dripping sort of down his face. Felix, you're up, my dude.
Let's try again. Let's try this a second time. Aha! This one seems better.
Disadvantage.
Fuck!
Not get advantage from flanking?
Oh yeah.
So then
Actually, yeah.
cancels
Flanking.
out.
So that would be 26. 22 still hits, but yes, nice. So 8 plus 10 fire damage, which makes
no, the 10 is to the 10 is to any second target, so it's 8 fire damage plus 11 from my sword.
Ah, right, okay, so that's, 19 overall, that's pretty good. Yeah, you carve into this thing's back, it is looking really rough right now. Really rough, as it's just limping on one leg, looking back at the brush of the forest. Definitely thinking it's going to run.
I will try and finish it then. 22.
And a 22 definitely.
13.
Definitely does it. Yeah. How would you like to finish this last displacer beast, as its illusion is starting to get very, very
just
jagged?
Whip round like behind it as Ponsky's tearing at it. Slice off one of its tails, and then just sort of like jump up, and as Ponsky pulls back, just bury the sword in the top of its skull, pushing it to the ground.
Yeah, nice. There's just this, as you do, there's just a low grumble before this thing gathers in a heap on the floor and is gone. Look at that. You took care of the island's displacer beast problem. The area goes very, very quiet. Or at least quieter than it was previously, but slowly as your heart rates begin to slow and you begin to gather yourselves, you hear the chirps and the creaks and the growls and the rumbles of all the different jungle creatures and things, all, as I was saying before, like waking up for the day. It is, well, I mean, actually now it's the middle of the day, so just sort of living as part of this jungle. The day is yours. The area goes quiet. Right now, based on sort of looking up at the sky, you wouldn't know the exact time. Mazzy's like proficient in survival, so he could probably tell you well enough. It's like just before midday. You got here at like 6 a.m., so you've been here about sort of 4 or 5 hours now.
So we don't know when we're getting picked up, do we? I mean, how bad is everyone off the back of that? I'll be right with a short rest. Yeah, we could do a short rest. It's just so that we could fit in a long rest. But isn't there a rule about how much we can between long rests?
Yeah, you need to take at least, I think it's 8 hours before you can do another long rest.
Okay, so we're well off that, aren't we?
Or I think it's JJ,
one
you
long
have any
rest
idea?
per day.
Yeah,
So,
one long rest per day.
In theory, we could long rest now, but we wouldn't be able to long rest until the following day.
No, you
But
wouldn't be able to long
we're
rest
off the
now
back
because you
of
long rested the
another
night
one.
before.
Oh yeah, I guess yeah, depending on how you count it, I suppose.
I allowed the night previous as a long rest, just
Yeah, I guess it
for
depends when you count
story benefits.
when the day starts, if you know what I mean. Like
Yeah. So I would say you would need to wait at least until it's dark here before you could long rest again, which would be about sort of 8 p.m.
Don't know what time. It said maybe today or maybe tomorrow morning. I mean, I think we take
6 p.m.
I think we take a short rest, and then everyone can get something back at least.
Yeah, I mean, you've got the day, to gather yourselves. You can take, as many short rests as you need. Up from now, you have like the rest of the day just chilling in this jungle. Is there anything anyone would like to do?
Take a short rest.
Yeah, absolutely. Roll any hit dice, regain any spell slots. Remember, you do have your book, which allows you to regain 1 extra slot, which, if you wanted to, you could stagger your short rest so that Felix could use it too.
yeah, can you remind me how that works, please, Ben?
So when you use your arcane recovery feature,
Yeah.
you have a certain amount of levels of spell you can recover.
Yeah.
When reading
Half
this
your
book
wizard level.
over that, yeah. So reading this book allows you to increase that by 1. So if you spend the entire time just reading this book, which I believe was something really stupid, like Harold Porter and the Philosopher's Tome. No, Hardwick Porter and the Philosopher's Tome.
It's a bag of novels in the world of
So
Ambyr.
instead of 5th,
They
you
really
can
are.
do up to 6th.
Yeah.
Okay. I haven't got any 6th level spell slots, so I can just get my 5th back. So I don't need it.
Cool.
I don't think you can get 6th level back anyway.
No. So let me. See.
Simon's favorite is.
Oh, okay. So it doesn't increase the.
Yeah, it doesn't increase the levels you can get back, but it increases the amount of levels you can get
Oh,
back.
right. The spell slots can have a combined level of. Right. Okay.
Yes.
I understand.
It
how
increases
it
that
works.
combined level by
Okay.
1.
So instead of 5 levels of spells, it's 6.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna get.
Yeah.
I'm gonna. If we get a long rest now, I'm gonna get my 5th. I mean, if we could have multiple. Short rests. If we can have multiple short rests.
Yeah, the day is yours. You can do with it whatever you please.
I mean, I would like to fit in at least 3 short rests at some point.
Okay. Yeah. Absolutely.
Depending on like, because I mean, we've got this cage set up now. I believe Ponsky has tested it to some degree.
Yeah, Ponsky's tested it. He's given it the go ahead.
He loves it.
He loves it. He does. Like it still made noise enough
Yes,
for the
please.
displacer beasts nearby to pick up on, but this part of the island is unpatrolled, so you don't know, but you think that it might be quiet enough down there, particularly if you go with your idea of putting some things on top of it to dampen the noise. You think it might not be, it might make things quiet enough if he's going feral and loud and shouty to be able to block the sound enough so that any nearby patrols might not be able to hear it. Yeah, so you guys can get your short rests and things. Nathan will also take a short rest, so if you want to do that for him,
Nathan
Sam
doesn't
as well.
get rests. Nathan's holding my arcane grimoire while I'm resting.
You're such a good teacher.
I know. I'll sit with him actually, and I'll just chat to him and say he's, when he joined, which was just a short time ago, he was not overly useful. I won't say it in those words, but I'll say he's grown a lot because he has been very useful in, especially against Arcthorn,
Yeah.
all the cultists and stuff. And then he took out a displacer beast today. So
Yeah.
I'll
He
try
kind of
and
sort of
teach
replies
him
with
more.
he kind of sort of replies with something like thanks, well, a couple of days ago I really, people told a lot of stories about the Guardians and I thought they were all exaggerated. I now know they are not, and I guess if I wanted to survive with you guys, I'd better pick up my game. So that's kind of what I've been trying to do, I guess.
You're doing fine, kid. Just keep your wits about you where we're going, because it only gets harder from here.
Yeah, I've seen, but thank you. I'll keep that in mind. You said you were gonna train with them and stuff for
Yeah, just
a
try and
little
help
while. So.
focus. His focus needs more focus.
Cool. Yeah. So you spend the rest of the day just tutoring him in divination and things like that, trying to narrow down his portents. Because at the minute he can cast guidance as a bonus action, so that's great. But you're sort of narrowed it down. It's a similar problem to when you started, where the portents are very, very strange and they don't really help much, and they come in these almost like instantaneous fragments or or like fractions of a second. And you're trying to sort of help him focus on these, to elongate these and maybe make it one day into a portent or into something like that. And it's just it's like a long day of, I guess if you're teaching him, it's like a long day of just meditating and him just trying to essentially cast guidance on you a bunch of times, and him trying to extend that and things like that. But he does okay. Actually, I'll roll for him. See how well he does. Yeah, damn, rolled an 18. So yeah, he does pretty well over the course of the day. You definitely think he's making some progress. A couple more days like this, and he might have a little bit of something more cracked. Is anyone else doing anything particular over the period of the day?
Sorry, no, I was just going to say, looking through McQuaset's eyes at what the island's got in store.
Ah, yes, your quasit that you sent out. Okay. Roll me another. Okay, so get the stats for the quasit, and roll me another stealth check, another survival check, and another perception check.
Or just straight. Shall I do 3 d20s? Yeah.
Yeah. 3 d20s.
Oh, that's
And what's the stats of a quasit? So a stealth check is +5, the perception check is +0, and the survival check is also +0. So the stealth 19, yeah, he is hidden. The perception 1, sadly, being hidden means it's staring a lot at leaves and the backs of things that it's hiding behind. But survival 18, pretty good. So it's surviving. It's managing to avoid lots of dangers and things. Sadly, so you sit there and you look through its eyes, and it's really annoyingly, like right now, it's far enough away where you can't control it, you can't interact with it, you can only see through its eyes, and you see very small snippets of things. So you do see like a couple of cultists running down what looks like to be a really, really old road, and then it immediately ducks behind cover. And weirdly, for a quasit, I mean, a quasit's intelligence is 7, so not only does it sort of duck behind cover to the point where you can't see these cultists, it also kind of blocks its ears because it thinks that makes it sound less. like it makes it think it makes less sound. So it's just sort of there, and you can't really hear much of their conversation. Once they're gone, though, it scuttles across the road, and you see a couple of little bits. Nothing interesting, but it's out there, certainly, and it's still doing stuff. And if you check back in maybe later in the day, you might see 1 or 2 more things about the island. But it's actually, surprisingly, your tiny little quasit is thriving and surviving on the Silverhold Isle jungle. Felix, you said you were going to do something.
I mean, depending on what Climbing's up to, but I'd probably spend some time just chatting with him, you know, talking, blacksmithing, hanging out, just getting to know each other a little bit, you know, sharing like creative interests.
Yeah. You were previously also helping teach Gylndan the sending spell.
I was, that is also true.
So you still doing that at portions of the day?
Yes, still do that until that's done.
Cool. So I said it was 6 hours, but because it was 2 wizards sort of focusing on this thing, I narrowed it down to 4. So I'd say around maybe 3 o'clock. No, more like 2 o'clock. Around 2 o'clock in the afternoon, you, Gylndan, finally feel like you've got the sending spell down. You've copied it into your spellbook. You now have the sending spell in your spellbook. Sadly, it's not one of the prepared.
No, that's okay. I think I've already got it in my sheets. I don't know if I thought we were doing that, and then maybe we got attacked by displacer beasts.
Well, I remember you said you were going to do it the night prior, but then you made the whole deal and had to wake up early in the morning and yada yada yada. So I think
hate waking up early.
Actually, no. I believe you got to the island because you got there around 6 a.m. and then that whole attack happened at 11. So actually, you technically you've already done that. I apologize. Yes, you've already learned it. You've already got it on your thing. So yeah, you can spend the day chilling out with Kaiman and things like that. Mazzy just spends a lot of the day somewhat, you think, paranoid. He's sort of walking backwards and forwards and constantly checking perimeters and climbing trees and being on lookout and different things like that. At one point in the day, he sort of disappears for like 5 minutes and then comes back with like this like this large bird, with just like an arrow through its like through its neck, and he's like, "I got dinner." And just sort of chucks it down in the middle. And Vaishal sort of offers to help him cook up that. Vaishal's been chilling out most of the day. You can see he's kind of basking in the heat a little bit. Vaishal definitely seems to somewhat enjoy the warm weather, and he does spend a little bit of time just chilling out, poncho off, sort of like tattoos on the show, just almost like sunbathing. He's just there chilling out in the day, and you can see his tattoos of these sort of like massive waves and things like that over his chest begin to like calm a little bit, and it's kind of nice. And when he turns on his back, the 7 sort of birds on his back begin to just sort of like spin and flutter every now and again on his back.
I'm getting like a mix of Aquaman, like Jason Momoa, Aquaman, and like Fat Thor vibes.
Yeah, I guess it's kind of a little bit of both, because he's not the strongest guy. I mean, he does have some strength to him, but it's more like a featherweight UFC kind of strength, like slender build. But it's certainly there.
Looks like Bolden from God of War.
Yeah, a little bit. And Ponsky, eventually his werewolfness wears off, and he just sort of is sat there with Nathan, just complaining about the heat and swatting flies and being generally miserable. He tries to read some more of his book, but sadly he slaps a large insect on one of the pages, and the insect guts just go all over one of the pages.
Oh.
But you also see that like he slaps it, but then the leg still kind of starts moving. So he just sort of shuts the book and throws it somewhere in the jungle. It doesn't go very far. It goes about 20 feet. But he's like, I'm done with that. An expected journey it was. It was a little bit predictable. Of course they were going to get it in the end.
Boring story, anyway.
Yes.
Pull Oramis aside.
Yeah, of course.
I've not been able to tell you much about the plan that I made, but this is a private conversation, by the way. We'll go for a little walk.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've not been able to tell you too much of the plan I made with Nasir, because I think he can read our minds, to be frank.
Well, that's a worry.
So, but I think there'll come a moment today, and I know you, Oramis. I don't know many people that can move as fast as you can, especially when shiny things appear. So perhaps when a shiny thing appears, you should do your best to get it as quickly as possible.
Get the shiny thing.
Yeah, it might not be physically shiny, but the metaphorically shiny thing. You should consider getting it with great haste.
Can I roll an intelligence check to see if I know what the hell he's saying?
Yeah, absolutely. I was gonna call for the same thing. Yeah.
Does Luke understand?
I'm just going to. I can't even find intelligence on here.
Oh, well, you fucking failed then.
Yeah, Oramis is sort of staring at you, like nodding. But Glyndon, you're a smart guy. You definitely realize he is not getting a word you're putting down.
Oh, the fucking eye, you moron.
An eye?
Yeah, the eye.
Eye. Is that what the thing he's after? You want me to nab that?
Yeah, it's what they're both after, and it's what I promised Nasir for helping us. I'd like it on our side of the negotiation, and then I'll wink at him.
Aggressive negotiations, Senator.
Also, a lot of his power comes from his. He's very powerful anyway, but a lot of his power comes from his staff. So if there's any way you could grab that as well.
Well, you saw him cast teleport through his staff.
Yeah, but you would know his staff can be a powerful item. He's casting 7th level magic out of it. It's a decently powerful item.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're pretty
Sam's got staff envy.
Yeah, a little bit.
I'm a pretty sneaky guy. I'm good with my hands.
Yeah,
is
but
that
there's
one of the
a-
visiting
I can do.
tenants, thou shalt not cover thy neighbour's staff.
You should pick the right time to do this, though, Oramis.
Oh, the right time.
Hmm.
When's that?
I think you'll just know it in your heart.
I'm not even sure if I have a heart anymore. Yeah, no, I'll know.
Let's not get stuck in the small details. Also, we should definitely talk about that. What the fuck do you mean you don't have a heart anymore?
Oh no, I'll know. I'll know the right time. In my
Ever since
chest
you
cavity.
lost Bethany, his heart's been all at sea.
Exactly.
You sort of just totally ignored my question there.
What question? I
What
just
sort
said my chest cavity.
Yeah. Okay. I'm not skilled in the arts of deception, but I can tell you're bullshitting right now.
I think you do have pretty good insight, don't you?
It's not terrible. I think it's just got my proficiency on it.
Yeah. So yeah, you're proficient enough in insight to know that maybe
Yeah.
there's something there, but
I don't know much about jungles, but I know there aren't any cows, but I smell bullshit.
I'm pretty sure you guys don't like fully know that I'm
No.
not dead yet, right?
No.
That's why.
Yeah. Okay.
That's why I'm
Good.
scratching a little.
What?
What? What?
What? No.
No, I'm nothing. I'm nothing.
There's only one
No, I
person
just.
in this group who was actually there. To be fair.
Mhm.
That's true.
So yeah.
And-
Maybe only Felix would even have an inkling.
No, I just. All I mean is, you know, my heart isn't as good as it used to be since I lost Bethany. I just don't have the judgment there that I used to.
I
Roll
believe you.
roll a deception check for that one.
Easy, mate.
If that's genuinely a deception.
Roll an insight.
Gylndan, would you like to? Yeah. If you want to insight that.
Oh.
You are laughing
man.
this up.
This poor
Yeah,
man
Oramis-
misses his wife so much.
You managed to sort of like some of the sweat dripping down your head from this jungle. You managed to sort of like move your head so that it almost looks like it's a tear. Like Gylndan, yeah, you almost feel kind of sorry for the guy. Like Oramis is a bullshitter, but now he's kind of crying, or now he's clearly getting very emotional.
What performance? Okay, yeah. Well, you've. It pains me so much to say this out loud. Oh, you've always been a good man for the big moments, Oramis. So I trust you'll do the right thing.
I'm just gonna give him a big hug.
Oh.
Oh.
Wizards don't really do affection, so I'm first not going to hug him back. I'm just a bit shocked that someone's touching me. But then I'll do that.
Pour on my robes.
I'll just do that. Sort of like, yeah.
Gylndan takes 1d4 hugging damage.
To be fair, I'm weak as fuck. I might take some damage there. Okay, well.
Cool. Message received. Loud and clear. Grab the shiny
Muscle from hugging.
or the wood.
Grab the shiny or the wood. Oh no! That's what he's taken from it. He's gonna rock up with a stick and a ring from some dead cultist. I do good.
Night begins to fall now. So as the sort of day has gone on, night is now beginning to fall, and Nasir sort of pops himself in the cage, and
Nasir
he
pops
jumps
himself in a cage. That's
No,
convenient.
not Nasir.
You can
Ponsky.
stay there.
He's fallen
Ponsky
right
jumps
into our trap.
Ponsky sort of opens up the cage as regular Ponsky. He like takes off pretty much all of his clothes to the point where now he's like gathered a large leaf and just sort of wrapped that around him, and he jumps down there. And before he does, he goes, just a quick word. No matter what you hear down there, don't open the cage.
Which cage? This
Well,
cage.
this one. Don't open it. At no point open it if I'm still what I am down there. Please. I couldn't bear it if I hurt any of you. So,
It would be
anyway.
a shame if you got out and someone kills you as well. So
It
I'll
really
give
would.
it a check.
yes. Anyway. Good night, gentlemen, and I'll see you in the morning. And,
I would like to suggest moving away from this area to a small extent.
Yeah, maybe still keep eyes on just so we.
Within earshot, but not within
Smelling.
shouting distance. If he's going to be loud, you still want to be able to hear in case there's like an escaped werewolf, but not right next to it, so there's still a chance of getting some sleep.
Yeah. If you want to, you can make a. Well, yeah, you can just move off in the area if you'd all like to.
But still sort of keeping like, yeah, within earshot, or maybe if we can get a line of sight if it's not too thick, the jungle.
It would be too thick jungle for you to get like
Okay.
a line of sight. You're either in this area here, as you can see on the map, for line of sight, or
Find
you're
familiar do?
off it.
Everything.
Or more actually, what can a familiar do? Can a familiar give you warnings?
I can
no, I
see
don't think
through
a
its eyes.
familiar
Though.
can telepathically tell you stuff. I know Find Steed can, but I don't think a familiar can speak telepathically to you.
I think it can.
While you're familiar with 100
I can
feet,
communicate
you can
with it.
communicate with it telepathically.
You can communicate with it telepathically.
Yeah, I mean, but Ben, I'm communicating with you by
True.
having this conversation.
True. And then in response, I'm communicating with you. That is a conversation.
I mean, you could set your Quasit to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I could see through its eyes, so I
Like
could just kind of
you
sit there
could
watching
you
through
could
it.
tell your familiar to say, if it breaks out, make a noise, caw, do something loud, or
Make
come back to us.
Practice noises.
That would be that
Yeah,
you would be
that's
able to do
sort of what I
that
was
for
thinking.
sure.
Like,
Oh yeah, you'd be able to do that. And then I would just sit there
well,
and watch.
I was wondering if it could like send you a telepathic message to do that, but it can't.
On the subject of my familiar,
Uh-huh.
while we're waiting, is there any chance I fit in another little foray into its mind?
Yeah, sure. Roll me another 3d20. The first one +5, the second two are just straight.
Okie dokie. Dr. Jones. Incoming.
Look.
Boo.
Yeah, sadly, your familiar is scuttling now through more of the forest, and it comes upon a river. And your little Quasit sort of looks at this river, and across the way, it can see a group of cultists sort of like nearby the river, just patrolling up and down it. One of them clearly has a bow, the other two have swords, and they're just sort of keeping eyes out. The one has like a machete and is cutting things down up front of it. And your Quasit thinks, oh no, I need to be hidden. So your Quasit tries to leap for a rock just beyond the way, but it leaps the rock, slips, and falls in the river. And then you just sort of like are sat there in your vision watching your Quasit try and swim in this river as it's being dragged along for a good 5 to 10 minutes before eventually it manages to claw its way to the side. Okay, yeah, your Quasit doesn't take any damage, but it just, is like spitting around in the water and spinning around and trying to swim, and eventually it does manage to make it sort of into a quieter section of the river where it just sort of washes up on the shore, and it's sort of like sort of looking around now, completely lost as to wherever it might be. In this space anyway, there is no one here. It's pretty quiet. Yeah, your Quasit is
See
just
any boats?
Any boats?
Any
Your Quasit
boats?
has not seen as far any boats on this river. Not
Would you-
right now. Anyway.
Oh, he's in a river.
It is currently in the big river that sort of travels through.
Okay. I don't know why I'm slightly concerned by that information. I thought Nasir said there was a big presence here. I don't even know if you've relayed that, Oramis, but
Yeah.
Like it saw one patrol and then got washed up by the river, and then got taken out. Managed to claw its way back on a part of the river which didn't seem to have anyone on it. But it's very, very dark, and your little quasit is now just really, really panicked, looking around left and right. And all you want to do is tell it to slow down and just look in one direction for like 5 seconds so that you can get a proper view. But it's just panicked and looking around, and eventually it runs off into the brush where it's extremely dark and just disappears. Sadly, the rolls haven't been with your quasit today. Anything else anyone would like to do as the evening falls? No? One thing that does happen is Vishal approaches you, Felix, and he seems a little perturbed. He seems like a little, you're not really sure what to call it. Just a little concerned. He sort of steps to you. He says, well, I don't know why I keep saying young Felix. Felix, might I ask of you a favor?
You can always ask.
Now, I promise you I will pay it back. I would just ask if I could have a platinum piece. I understand this is not a small amount of money. This is a lot of money. And I promise I'll pay it back with whatever portion of treasure is potentially allocated to me after whatever we do tomorrow or whatever. But I could just... You would be helping me out, and I would definitely be in your debt. I'll repay you twice-fold.
Have I got any platinum? I've just put everything in its equivalent in gold.
Yeah, you picked up, there was like piles of platinum and gold and silver and stuff in Arctothorn's lair. There was loads of platinum pieces in Arctothorn's lair.
Okay, yeah, if I've got platinum, then yeah, you can have a singular platinum piece.
That's very generous.
Excellent. Thank you very much. If anyone asks, I'm going to go off probably around midnight somewhere. If anyone asks where I've gone, I haven't gone far. I'm only just across the way. I won't be out of earshot. Don't worry. If anything happens, I'll still be here.
Is everything all right?
Yes, absolutely. It's just it's the full moon, and I know for me and my brothers and sisters used to do way back when I was with them, and I should like to do it now, as I've done every month. Yes, just a small little thing. No need to worry at all. Don't worry. And takes the platinum piece. Unless you have any more questions, he just sort of gets up, thanks you again, and just sort of like sits, and you can see him almost very, very intently sort of looking over to the moon, which is now rising, and you can sort of see every now and again he is just sort of like keeping track of its place in the sky. But with that said and done, yes, we shall take a quick 5-minute break if people are down with that.
Sounds good.
back into things. So the night comes fairly quickly. Around sort of like 6 o'clock, it like the sun, you notice, sort of starts coming down, and everything has a slight sort of orange haze to it all. By about sort of 8 o'clock, the sky begins to get a more sort of like golden red color, and yeah, sort of a couple of hours after that, night begins to fall, and you can just hear this incessant, very, very loud chirping of creatures and bugs and birds and things all around you. It's like in the jungle, it's almost like the nighttime is just as alive as the daytime, except it's just different. It's different noises, it's different things. You all do hear Ponsky in his cage. I will roll to see if anything happens to that. No, not quite. That was a 2, an 8, and a 14. So, well, on the dice, that was that anyway. But no, Ponsky cannot break free of his cage. But you do hear a lot of like roar, roar, and just screaming and clamoring, and the door to it does like buckle every now and again, like and maybe you notice that it's buckled so much that some of the plants and things that you put over it to conceal some of the noise does go away, like does sort of get knocked away a little bit, but for the most part, for the first sort of few hours, nothing seems to happen. He almost goes in sort of like fragments. So as the moon begins to rise, this beautiful, bright, big full moon, you sort of hear him first sort of start just go off. And for maybe a solid hour, it's just a lot of roaring and shouting and all sorts of like growling and scratching and slamming. And then he stops for about sort of an hour or two. And then he goes again for about half an hour. And he stops for about an hour. And he goes again for an hour. And it's almost like he's tuckering himself out, trying to breach through this thing, until it gets to maybe around midnight, you would suspect. And he goes quiet, almost as if he's accepted his fate in this place. And he's just quietly seething in this cage that you have him in. I would say Kaiman, definitely. But also maybe Felix and Oramis. You can actually hear, just with your passive perception, maybe words, almost like he's mumbling to himself. Like, in this feral form, he's almost talking to himself every now and again. And it's just random things like calling himself weak, calling his human form weak, saying he needs to be freed, he needs to feed on things, he'll make him stronger, almost like this werewolf form is trying to tempt regular Ponsky and into somehow getting free and into releasing this version of him more. But it's just a lot of, him sort of quietly mumbling and yammering on. At around midnight, Vaishal does sort of awkwardly get up, and depending on who's up at this point, he just sort of awkwardly get up and sort of flicks his platinum piece in his hand and steps off just beyond the sort of tree line. Is anyone following him, or are you just leaving him to his business?
Sorry, are we still like middle of the late?
Yeah. It's like really late at night now. The moon is almost like directly above you. For anyone, I guess, would anyone be taking a watch, or are you guys just getting out to sleep?
So you have a watch on.
Watch, yeah. I'll nominate Mazzy first. He's really good.
Yeah. So yeah, Mazzy sort of takes his first watch. Why don't we get Mazzy? Can Mazzy roll a perception check? Yeah, Mazzy's not really that interested. He's slightly more interested, you realize, in a little bit of like wonderment, just looking up at all the stars and things, and also like all the sounds of everything that's going on. He's just sort of constantly on edge about things that are around him, to the point where it's not really perception, it's just paranoia. Because he's thinking maybe at some point a wizard's going to pop out and attack you, or a dragon's going to pop out and attack you. Like this was all some big plan for Nasir to get you out in the open and put you near displacer beasts so that you'd be worn down. And the paranoia definitely doesn't help him over his period of the watch. But thankfully, nothing really happens. Who would like to go next on the watch?
I'll go. I'll keep Nathan up with me.
Okay. Make me a perception check. I guess if you're having Nathan with you, you can roll it with advantage because he'll help.
Will not benefit me. No, man.
18. You're sort of chilling out with Nathan. What are you doing with Nathan at this point? Are you just sort of... are you teaching him some more? Are you just hanging out with him? What are you doing?
How long's the watch? I mean, like...
Watch is about sort of... well, it depends how long you want it to be. You have lots of people with you. But regularly, between 4 characters, a watch is about 2 hours.
Okay. I'll probably do a little bit of teaching, but then maybe just ask him a bit about his life and...
Yeah.
You know, his family, what he calls home, all that sort of stuff. We don't have to up it, but just...
Yeah. Like, generally, he just gives you the sort of replies of he was left at the College of Bards, so he doesn't really have a home other than there. His family, I guess you would say, is the nurses and things, because he used to sleep in the nurses' station. That's what they gave him as a bed until he started then formally going there, in which case he got a proper dorm and stuff like people would. But, like, you know, they, I guess, would be considered his family, even though they weren't really, you know, they didn't treat him as family. They just treated him as a student that's always there, sort of thing. But yeah, you learn a little bit more about him and realize he has been very, very sheltered. He's not seen anything like that. He's just read a lot of it in books and things like that. And he sort of starts going on at you about how, you know, like, oh yeah, you know, like, I always thought jungles were going to be denser or bigger, or I always thought, you know, the sea was going to be a lot more blue, because you see that a lot in everything. The sea is always bright blue, but it wasn't exactly bright blue. It wasn't what he expected, and different things like that. And you do begin to realize that, yeah, he's been a pretty sheltered kid for most of his life.
I'll just sort of disclose to him, because yeah, it's a bit of shelter and stuff, like my sort of dream for people with our gift, there need to be people that are out in the world and helping. There's no point in them being sheltered, and I hope one day I can... Normally you just have one person that teaches you and guides you, but I want to be able to help lots of people.
Yeah, he definitely likes that idea. He sort of like discloses to you, like, he's definitely been thinking a lot about travel recently, and how, you know, before he never saw outside of Inksworth, but now he wants to go everywhere. He's now seen jungles, he's seen dragons, but he now just sort of wants to see it all. You know, like it's becoming a big thing for him, and he sort of does disclose to you this small notebook that he's keeping with a couple of very, very basic, they're not great sketches, but sketches nonetheless, and just notes on things. For example, like Arctothorn, like he tried to draw one of Arctothorn's scales, and he sort of wrote a few notes on that. And he's like drawn, like doodled out a couple of leaves from the jungle and like 1 or 2 flowers that he's seen here, and he's sort of writing down his thoughts and feelings on his time here. And sort of like he tried at one point to draw some of the sailors on the ship, and sort of Oramis's ship from a certain perspective. You're not exactly sure when he did this, but he did it at some point. Again, it's not great. He's still learning to draw, I guess you would say. But, you know, he's doing it, and he's sort of writing down how he felt and where he would like to go next, and, you know, aspirations and things like that. So he does definitely have his little notebook that I guess you would also say is his spell book as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then just before we hand over to the next, whoever's taking next watch, I'll just say to him that, you know, stay in. You've impressed me with how you've done in combat so far, but don't be a hero tomorrow. Just stay in the back.
Sort of gives you a shy, subtle nod, sits back. And as he sort of like sits back and sort of looks at this, it's then over his shoulder you notice something moving, going towards Felix, where Felix is currently asleep. Something in the brush. It's long and slender, though its pattern and shape changes, and you realize it's a snake. There's a snake slowly slithering its way towards your friend Felix, just sort of like beneath some of the longer grass and in the brush and things like that. It definitely doesn't think it's been seen.
Okay.
It's slithering its way along.
Can I just very quickly shoot my mage hand out and try and grab it?
Yeah, of course. Roll a grapple check with your mage hand. So roll me an intelligence check. And no, just roll me an intelligence check. Okay.
16.
Oh, it rolled a 15. Yeah, you. This thing is definitely like it stops and it almost recoils, and your mage hand, you summon it fairly quickly before, and you just grab it up by the neck, and you now like have it suspended, and it's almost trying to wrap itself around the mage hand, but it doesn't quite understand that there is no forearm there. There's nothing there. It's just sort of lapping and circling. You have a snake in your mage hand.
Yeah, I then go and drop it on Mazzy. No, sorry. I'll. Does it look like it is just a snake, or?
Yeah. It just looks like a snake. It's not particularly big. In fact, it's kind of small. But you do notice that its scales seem to shimmer as it's moving, almost like it has some kind of very basic camouflaging effect.
Okay.
Like it can change the overall color of itself depending on its surroundings. So when you saw it in the brush, it was green. But now that it's being held up in the darkness, it's like gone almost black, trying to slither around.
Okay. I'll walk a little ways from camp and just yeet it.
Yeah, you just yeet it off, and very, very quickly you can just see something like disappear off into the brush. This thing probably isn't coming back anytime soon, as it's super confused. And yeah, maybe saw Felix as a little bit of a snack, but now it's fuck this.
I've been very disappointed how little there was on that snack.
So that's the first and second watch. I'd say there's 2 more watches to do. Who would like to take the third?
I can take the third. Oh.
I was very
Sorry.
smooth, Ryan. This guy.
Yeah, sure. Oramis, if you'd like to take the third. Make me a perception check.
Perception.
Oh my
28.
Lord.
Yeah, so you're chilling back. You don't
I
really
see
see anything. You don't see anything in particular. Though you do see this very, very large beetle, sort of slowly, sort of like trotting its way around the campfire, or like the small fire that Mazzy made just before, like a very, very small fire. He would have set it up to be. But there's this very, very large beetle, and it just sort of like trots and does a couple of sort of twirls around the campfire before screwing off. But it would be around this time that you do notice Vaishal slowly sort of getting up and beginning to wander off into the just beyond the tree line. Would you like to do anything, or are you just leaving it to it?
I'll just call after him and just say, like, stay safe.
Don't worry, I will. Nothing dangerous. Just need to talk to someone.
Oh, who do you talk to?
Oh, no one important. Anyway.
He's a fucking rat. He's a rat.
Must be important if you're going in the middle of the night.
It is a ritual me and my brothers and sisters of where I'm from used to do every full moon. It's not one many would know, and it's not to a creature many would know, but I guess you could say it's a prayer of sorts to the one I worship.
Okay.
I promise you it's nothing bad. You don't have to worry about that. I'll be back in a little while. And he sort of goes around the corner, and you don't really see much. Not for a little while. Though, with your 28 perception, you definitely begin to notice after a little while a small glow just beyond the tree line. A glow of like dazzling white. Every now and again there are some like iridescent colors sort of like mixed in, and the light does seem to move. Like it's sort of like you can see it sort of going up and down trees and different things like that, but it's very, very gentle, very faint. Nothing massive that's going to give away a position or anything like that. But yeah, you can see something off in the distance. Would you like to do anything, or just leave it into it?
I'm just gonna leave him to it, I think.
Yeah. Okay. You leave him to it. About an hour later, he comes back. He nods towards you, says goodnight, crawls up, gets back into bed. Final watch. Okay. Time. Roll up perception check. 15. Yeah, nothing really much happens on your watch. You wake up, your stomach's grumbling a little bit, but nothing really in particular is going on. Just a quiet night in the jungle. You find yourself acclimatizing to the jungle better than you thought. Given your resistance to fire, it's not actually that warm for you. You're not sweating so profusely, and you're actually thinking, you're looking around and thinking, this wouldn't be a bad place for you and your people. You know, there are some similarities with the swamp. There's a lot less water, and it's a lot less moist, but there's a lot of things to eat, and there's a lot of, stuff to do. There's plenty of space for you guys to roam and hunt and do everything you want to do, but this wouldn't be a bad place necessarily. But maybe you do miss home, just that little bit. It's certainly further away from home than you've been. I don't know Carmen's backstory, but maybe ever. So, yeah, maybe missing home just a little bit. But your watch begins to pass. You hear another sort of like final, almost like the final attempts at freedom from Ponsky. You hear just like a final roar and some banging and things like that. But that only lasts about sort of 15-20 minutes before it calms down. And the sun slowly begins to rise on the other side. And it is as the sun sort of slowly begins to rise, Gylndan, you shoot up from bed. You're lying there, but suddenly you shoot up from sleep, with the voice echoing in your head. Guardians, it is time. We have cleared the rubble. Do not fail. See you in the end.
Just a little side note.
Uh-huh.
I can't remember exactly what he said the plan was when he's messaged us. Were we supposed to find the mine and go down, yeah?
Yeah. So he said you are on the other side. So beyond your sight, there is a large cliff face, and you can see just like the tip tops of some ruins. And he says that's the old castle. So you're on the other side of that. So you basically need to follow that around, find the river, and then keep going up, and you'll be there.
Okay, I'm guessing that's the send-in spell that he just sent me.
Yeah. So you do get to reply with 25 words if you'd like.
I'll just say we are coming.
Cool.
That's it.
Okay. You begin to rouse. Everyone slowly begins to wake in the morning. Some more comfortably than others. But you'd all manage to wake. You're hot, you're sweaty. It was still fairly warm and sort of humid overnight, but nevertheless, it's now time to continue on through the jungle. Now, in order to find this space...
before we...
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Is that a long rest, yeah?
Yeah, that was a long rest. You can all refill spells, refill HP, refill everything you want to do.
I'm gonna send a message to Mirain,
Okie dokie.
and I'll tell her, because I've got 25 words. So what am I gonna say?
I don't know.
It's Gylndan. Made a deal with Nasir. Upside, high upside, but high risk. Keep friends close. He may come for you. That's 25 exactly, I think. Well, that might just be 20, but either way.
Yeah. You get a reply back. God, what would she say?
You dumb fuck.
She'd reply back. No. No deals with that horrid man. Get away from him. Don't trust him. Please, Gylndan. Please. At which point you feel this... No, actually, no. No, she wouldn't be able to do that. She wouldn't be able to do that yet. There's other stuff happening. Never mind.
This whole time, Ben, I thought, because of the other arc,
Mm-hmm.
I've thought she'll get my message in the middle of, like, defending the siege of the capital.
Actually, technically...
Because I've just been thinking, like, am I worried about... Like, imagine Nasir teleports to the capital, it's just fucking chaos.
Yeah, no,
Squished by
so...
a meteor immediately when he arrives.
Just give me 1 second, so...
I see this as an absolute win.
Yeah. Easy way to get rid of it. Anyway.
Gylndan uses portents to see a meteor striking the capital. Oh yes, go there now, Nasir, it'll be fine.
When Nasir was like, where's Mirain? Just like, she will be at this exact street at approximately...
Yeah, okay, so, you do, in fact, because it has been... We've now been 7 days on this journey. So you do... suddenly, Gylndan, feel your mind slightly begin to... I guess the best word is open. Like something intrudes your mind, but something not dark and sinister, but just a voice. And in your mind, you can see the image of Mirain. And she says, Gylndan, I'm speaking with you now through a telepathy spell. High-powered magic. Don't have to worry about so many words. You said you're speaking with Nasir?
Is this is it just me that can see her?
Yeah. This is it's just like in your mind.
Okay.
You can speak to her freely. She is in your mind. Because Mirain leveled up after kicking ass and with the capital.
Yes, I've. He's on the enemy's side, but I've potentially convinced him to turn click.
He's on no one's side. Mirain. I'm Mirain. Nasir is on his own side, Gylndan. Believe me, I know him better than anyone, and he's not taking... The only side he is on is his own. As soon as he gets what he wants, he will turn on you. He will use what he has. Because I think I know what he's going after. It's the same thing he tried to get me to go after.
I've not gone into this by Mirain. I'm aware of what kind of person this here is.
It's a long pause as she sort of contemplates. She says to you, he cannot get the eye, Gylndan. He cannot get it. He is strong. Stronger than I am. As I taught you, and as you are teaching young Nathan, he taught me.
Holy shit.
He's
Well,
very, very powerful.
I'm guessing that's the first Gylndan's ever heard.
Yeah, you may have asked her who taught her in previous years, and it is very obvious and very noticeable that she ignores any attempts at any questions about that. Diverts conversation immediately. He is one of the bad few who will use what gifts we have to get what he wants, and what he wants could mean the end of everything if not done right, and he is hell-bent on getting what he wants to the point where he's not thinking or contemplating what could go wrong. Love will do that to a man.
I know, Marin, but it's a tightrope I have to walk to not face him as well as a dragon priest.
Take care of yourself. I trust you are. I trust you. And don't worry about me. I've held my own against him before. I'm sure I can do it again.
I would maybe seek. Are you still in the capital?
Yes.
I'd maybe seek the aid of young Dokramir. Or that 10 out of 10 paladin. No, I wouldn't say Griffin. I wouldn't say Griffin because I don't know. I don't think I really know Griffin or Galahad. I definitely don't know Galahad actually.
Yeah, you met Griffin on that one night you had in the capital where everyone got drunk in the Westland Tavern.
Got real like proper cunt vibes. Yeah, maybe seek the help of Dokramir, or I'd say Rast actually as well.
Rast, he is unfortunately still missing.
Oh. Definitely young Dokramir then.
I will see if I can find him. Things have been chaos here. I will get back in touch with you at some point when I'm a little more awake. It is very, very early.
If you don't hear from me by the end of today, it's not gone very well.
I have seen us sharing a drink in a bright new day. I've seen portents of that. I'm sure that will come to pass. I'm sure of it.
Okay.
You'll be fine. Take care.
I'm gonna be quite dismissive when she leaves because I can't believe she's lecturing me on not making deals with Nasir, but she got taught by him.
Yeah. The openness of your mind does sort of dissipate. Though you get the feeling it's somewhat still there. There's still this tingling, almost vibrating feeling in the back of your mind that started when this opened up. So maybe you get the sense that she can get back in touch with you if she needs for a certain amount of time, but you're not entirely sure. But yeah, you're awake. You've sent your spells and things like that. All that has happened. Is there anything else anyone would like to do before heading off? Cool. All right. In which case, can I get some checks from you guys? So, you guys are traveling through the jungle towards this mine, towards the river's mouth, towards wherever it is you need to go.
Easy peasy, right? No problem.
Can I get some checks from you guys? So the first check, well, I will say this. I will need everyone to make either a stealth check or a survival check. It is your choice as to which one you would like to do. Though, if the majority of you do... Yeah, no. Stealth or survival. I'll allow either in an attempt to try and make it to this space.
Sorry, ignore them, Ben. They're my important rolls.
Yeah, no worries.
They are not bad, if I do say so myself.
Not bad to use against enemies, no.
Stealth or survival, yeah?
Stealth or survival, your choice.
Oh, both rubbish. Oh, God. Oh, God.
Yeah. Roll stealth for Mazzy. I know he's got proficiency in it. Oh no, you've already rolled stealth for Mazzy. Yeah.
Nathan's going to come in with an nat 20 and save everything. Isn't that right, Nath?
Nathan who fell off the tower.
Yeah, Nathan has the dexterity of a gangly child.
I'll roll for Vishal and Ponsky.
Speaking on behalf of gangly child, we have great dexterity.
Alright, Ponsky's rolled a 19 in his
Oh yeah, I
his
suppose someone
base
needs to let
form.
Ponsky out of his cage.
Yeah, I'm assuming you go over, you let Ponsky out of his cage. He's fine. He's perfectly fine. He puts his clothes back on and gets ready for the new day. He thanks you all for taking care of him and hopes he wasn't too loud last night, which he really wasn't. So Ponsky technically rolls an unnatural 20, but Vishal sadly only rolled a 13. So, not great. And most of you guys rolled stealth, so that is a bit of a problem. So,
We should have really asked Mazzy if he uses pass without a trace, shouldn't we?
Probably
really
done,
should
yeah.
have. Oh well.
Retrospect's a fine thing.
So you guys are sort of slowly making your way towards the space, and you're trying to be as stealthy as you can, but it's very early morning. The sun is just rising, but it's currently at such an angle where the jungle itself is still darkness. It's still pretty dark, with only sort of spots of light coming through in places. And therefore makes it quite hard to be stealthy as you're trying to pass over things and pass through things and between things to try and get to where you are. And you don't quite notice that as you sort of head out, you actually end up on a road, which is strange. You end up on a sort of large, sort of long, open road. This long stretch of road, which is clearly very, very old. Really, really old, to the point where most of the paving that was once here is faded away into just this almost like flat stone space, and you can see many vines and things encroaching on the road space, but some of it has been trimmed and cut away for potentially more recent use. As you're heading out onto this road, you do notice a small group of individuals ahead of you, maybe sort of 3 cultists ahead of you. They are clearly tired themselves. They're stumbling and bumbling to their posts, and at the head of their group is a inquisitor. He has sort of almost like these like boils and things on the side of one arm, and you can see the cultists on this island. They have acclimatized themselves by basically like ripping the sort of like removing the sleeves and stuff from their arms, so that they can all more proudly wear, and people can more proudly see their scars and things like that all up their arms, because they don't need to hide them here. If anything, here you get the sense they are to be celebrated. And so you can see one inquisitor with boils and sort of where the skin is turned to almost like a bark-like texture up one arm, and 3 other cultists just sort of around him. And you'd all hear, some of you have pretty decent passive perception, you can hear him sort of shout, "All right, you heard the wizard, Ben. To the coast, come on. I know it's early, but we need to make it there. Post haste. Hey, who are you lot?" As they see your large group of individuals stepping through. What would you like to do?
We are your replacement shift from where you've just come from.
Oh my god. Sorry, what rookie playbook are we, are we whipping out here?
I thought
The
we'd at least go
Guardians?
with new recruits.
Yeah.
What was that, JJ? Sorry.
I thought we'd at least go with new recruits.
New recruits you might tell us to follow.
No, new recruits, we need to go to the temple to see Rash'ak.
We should have carried all the displacer beasts and said we were hunting. How we got here, who knows? But
I'm hungry.
Yes, we've been sent to relieve you of your previous post, so you can get on with your very important work in that direction.
I'm gonna say that is a deception check with disadvantage.
Disadvantage.
That is heavy disadvantage.
Why disadvantage?
Because you are a group of people that definitely do not look like any of the cultists on this island, randomly emerging from the brush onto this road.
Personally, I think the cultists should be a little less picky about their
Sounds
attire.
like religious persecution, if you ask me.
It is like one of the main roles. Of
Also, one of you is a lizard, like a large lizard folk.
Wow.
oh, so they're racist.
Racist.
Well,
Yeah.
No, but they know that they've got a bunch of lizard folk, and you're all armed like to the teeth.
Are they not armed?
That just means that we are like better. We're better cultists than them. They should feel bad.
Deception check with disadvantage,
Yeah.
sir.
Oh, that's decent.
17. That's still pretty decent. I'm gonna roll. I'll roll an insight check for this guy. What's his insight?
Happy to persuade him of his insights.
He looks at. He sort of like looks at you and says, "I don't. We were told that all inquisitors and a heavy number of personnel were the head of the mine. We were never told that anyone was to replace us. Who told you to replace us?"
We were told by the boss man himself,
Nasir.
Nasir. You wouldn't want to leave where you just came from totally unprotected, although I fully understand your mission is very important, but you got to think about these things. Can't just leave something totally unguarded, uncultist.
Well, I was just with Nasir, and you weren't there.
He's magic. He has sending spells to communicate with our wizard friend here.
Yeah,
So that we
I'll just touch like the marking on my forehead that's quite similar to this is just to sort of aid in Oramis's rambling.
Okay. I will allow you, Oramis, one more deception check. It would be a disadvantage, but this is because of Gylndan's help and generally the group's help. This is just a straight roll.
Right.
18. Roll an insight.
Can I prepare an action?
Yeah. What would you like to prepare?
I'm just gonna prepare a nice little firebolt, looking for someone that's got a nice frosty arm to target.
Yeah.
Have you not been too obvious with that?
He looks. He
I'm
looks
small,
at you
I'm
for a long
standing behind
time.
Timon.
Looks at you for a long time and says, "Well, you won't be going back there anyway. Well, you. What do you say? You must be the new rookies that have come in. Fine. You'll join us at the coast then. The wizard said that he saw some vision of the guardians attacking by a ship today. We've all been sent to the coast. Come on. To the coast. With us.
How many are there, Ben?
There is the one Green Inquisitor, the Emerald Inquisitor, and 3 other regular chump cultists.
Chumps. Oh, we really need to at least check in with the boss man.
Yeah, I thought we took our orders from the top of the chain.
You misunderstand. The wizard is not on the top of any chain.
I'm pretty sure he's on top of you.
He's just aiding our Black Prophet in what he needs to get done. Come on, I'm sure Nasir will tell you the same thing, and if there are problems, you can take it up with me, an Emerald Inquisitor. Now,
How far are we from the cage that we put Ponsky in?
by now, you're sort of around 20 minutes. 20-minute walk.
Okay. It's a tricky one, that.
Can I? Is that way? It feels like a waste of a spell slot, really. If I were to cast Charm Person.
Have to be stealthy, probably, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I'm not going to do that. Eldritch Blast.
Are you actually Eldritch blasting him?
I haven't clicked the button.
Yeah, okay.
You're tempted. He's trying to find out if he gets it for free.
He's looking at you guys now like, come on. Go along the road now. Come on. As they're walking past one of the cults. One of the cults just
Oh,
looks
all
at
right.
the other
Well, no, I
fucking
think
newbies.
shots have been fired.
Shots have been fired. Who's that against? Is that at the Central Inquisitor or the other three?
Against a squishy one.
Against the squishy one, let me just check if that hits. I'm pretty sure it does, but
It's a 13. I'm not sure it will.
no, 13 does it.
Oh, good.
Oh,
Thank
my
God
God.
for that.
Just. Only just. Against these ones.
I'll just
Anyway.
be like, don't have time for this.
Yeah.
You actually hit the one next to the one you were aiming for, but just don't question it. No
Yeah.
one knew you were
They
aiming
were
for the one on
standing
the
really
right.
close together, it's fine.
Yeah. Yeah, 21 damage. So you're just stood there. You conjure this firebolt and just flick it out towards this one guy, and it
Yeah,
hits
I'm
him
hiding behind
square
Kaiman
across
and
the
just
head.
jump out and just like, haha!
Yeah,
Secret
hits him
gnome.
square across the head, and his body just sort of like things up and just falls flat on his back. He is fucking out. At this point, I'm gonna say roll a really, really quick initiative. We're not gonna have a map for any of this. This is just gonna be sort of theater of the mind stuff really, really quickly. So roll really, really quick initiative.
Oh, hello.
Okay, so they're gonna go on that.
That's what Oramis should be doing every time.
And I'm gonna say like Vishal and Ponsky, they were taking after you guys. So I'm just gonna put them at the end because they're just traveling with you. They're not really.
Fine.
They're not really doing things. So I'm just gonna
Fine.
put them at the end. They were taking
Fine.
your leave.
I'll do Mazzy as well. Mazzy's on a 16.
Oramis, Mazzy, Kaiman, can we get your initiative? Lovely.
Oh, poor Ryan.
So Oramis, Mazzy, Gylndan, Felix.
Instead of spending my turn to get closer to them, this is Kaiman's genius plan to just let them come to him.
Kaiman.
You're so clever. You're stupid.
Literally lizard brain.
Cool. So this is the initiative order that you guys can see on here. First up, we'll go with Oramis. Oramis, what would you... So you've seen this firebolt square one of them in the face. We'll say there's Cultist A, Cultist B, and the Inquisitor ahead of you. The Inquisitor's looking to... He has got a dagger sort of beneath one of his robes, and he's looking to grab that. The other two are pulling out scimitars. They're around 30 feet from you.
The one that got bashed in the face,
Yeah.
is he dead?
Yeah, he is immediately out.
Right. Can I Eldritch Blast the one that's going for the dagger?
Yeah, the Emerald Inquisitor in the middle. Yeah, of course you can. Roll to hit.
Okay.
Big boy, piece plays Luke.
Pew!
Yep, that definitely hits.
Does it kill him?
15 does not kill him, sadly, no.
What about... what about 10?
You can't Eldritch Blast and Shadow Blade.
I meant to Eldritch Blast a second time, not Shadow
I
Blade.
see.
Well, that one misses, doesn't it?
That one sadly does miss. The first shot sort of squares him in the shoulder. The second
Oh,
shot
that doesn't
misses.
though.
That one definitely doesn't. 7 plus 3 is 10.
Yet it's lower than the first one somehow.
That's
Yeah,
very
yeah. Somehow it's
disappointing.
lower than the first one. this one like scars across his face, and as he sort of recoils back, he looks back at you, and you've now just like made this large scar right across his cheek, like to the point where you can see basically in his cheek, and it's just horrid, like taken off one of his ears and everything. He is, however, still up.
Can I run up to him and bonus action stab him in the face?
Yes, of course you can. As you run up to him and stab him in the face, he's going to use his reaction to cast, to use disarming words. So he's going to roll a d6. Whatever you roll, you have to subtract that. He's rolled a 6, so whatever you roll on this attack, minus 6.
That's a bummer.
Good.
Oh well.
But it's fine.
21, does that hit?
So you run up to him, and he starts like trying to sort of like, you'll never get away with score, as you just run up to him, shadow blade him, concealed blade him straight in the stomach. He's still up. He's looking really fucking hurt though. Extremely hurt, in fact, as he's like keeling over, like looking back to his cultists. Run, intruders! Oh. But that is you guys. Next up is Mazzy.
Mazzy, pull out the longbow of the super ranger. Where is fucking there is the longbow, and just take 2 shots.
Oh, who are they at? Are they at the guys behind them?
It'll take 2 shots at, let's say, A.
Okay, yeah, A. That hits. 6 piercing damage. Yeah. 2 shots. The first one thunks into his stomach, next one thunks into his shoulder, and this guy just flips over, crumples on the floor, dead, gone. Yeah, I guess that's Mazzy. Gylndan, what would you like to do? A is dead, you've got Cultist B and the Inquisitor, who is very, very low.
We'll firebolt the Inquisitor. Yes, firebolt the Inquisitor. Hope for good things. 28.
28, yeah, definitely hits. Roll damage.
9.
9. That is abysmal for 3d10, yet somehow enough to finish the job. Flick this firebolt towards him, and as he's like keeling over from his stomach from the concealed blade wound, like front forward facing, you just hit him square on the face, and he flips backwards, flies like 5 feet back, and lands hard on the stone ground, just completely out.
Oh, you dead bitch.
Nathan can go if he wants to.
Ice Ray, Rare Frost, whatever you call it, he's doing it. This will be a Cultist B.
This will be a Cultist B.
Big shots, Nathan, big dreams. 18, that hits, doesn't it?
18 hits, yeah.
13 damage.
And that is enough to get him in 1, so he fires this ray of frost towards him, and it just like hits him square in the stomach, and his whole like body, like just like central massive torso, just freezes up and then goes falls back, gone, expired. Everyone make a perception check.
Oh, Ryan.
Thank goodness for Ryan.
Yeah, Felix and Kaiman, particularly Kaiman, you guys can see off in the distance a little bit of torchlight as other groups are systematically coming from inside the mine and beginning to travel this way, beginning to travel down this road. You suspect it's more groups of cultists coming to defend the coasts. They will be here in a matter of, or maybe they will be in a space to potentially see you in a matter of minutes. Yet you have 3 bodies laid here in the center of the road.
Is it thick, jungle either side?
Yeah.
Get them off, roll them in.
Yeah. Okay.
We can do two to a man. We can pick them up quickly.
Yeah. I'll say there are definitely enough of you where you guys can pick them up and pull them across. I'll just say that. Can I get a stealth roll from everybody as you are picking people up, pulling them across?
I shout at Mazzy to hop past that trace.
Yeah. You just give you a thumbs up, begins to sort of perform the incantations, and you all sort of begin to realize that your footsteps are no longer making as much noise. They're not making as much sort of like placements in the ground or anything.
Can Mazzy use his hide in plain sight to, if we've got a few minutes, to spend some time hiding these bodies with natural camouflage and things like that?
Yeah, absolutely he can. Absolutely he can. Yeah, I'll just say that. Yeah, that's a pretty good use of it. Yeah, I'll say that that definitely helps. Roll a.
It would normally give him a +10 to dexterity stealth checks.
Okay. I will say roll a. What check would be good for hiding a body? I guess kind of stealth. Because how well he can hide them. So sure, roll me a stealth check for Mazzy with a +10. And
35.
35, yeah. So Mazzy sort of like pulls these bodies. So as you all rush to the side of the road, which with Mazzy's pass that trace means that you all manage to dart off to the side of the road very, very quickly without any worries. And a few minutes later, you can see sort of people begin to walk across, all shouting the same things like, "Oh, we're off to the point east on the coast. Keep your eyes out for ships on the horizon. Going to North Point on the coast. Keep your eyes out for ships on the horizon," sort of thing. And you can see systematically going through this road, there are a few more groups. Some with more inquisitors than you've just faced than others, but certainly a few more groups of people heading that way. And by the time you look back, Mazzy has so well hidden these bodies that you're not entirely sure what he did with them. To you guys' appearance, you guys all hid in the brush and looked out and sort of made sure you were all stealthy, and then you look back and they're just gone, and Mazzy's just like, "Well, that's that taken care of. We better get going, guys." But you can all make it further towards. You've had that small incursion, but now you're not too far away, and you make it to the river. This rushing river, which at the point you are is a little bit more like rapids. There's lots and lots of rocks and things that are meaning that it sort of twists and turns and narrowly skirts around. Everyone make a perception check.
He's been going well. Oh, hello.
Oh,
Wow.
We will not let our guard down again after missing those guards.
Yeah, maybe
No.
it's just maybe it's that. As you guys are heading up the river, Oramis, you see a small figure just on the bank of the river. Gylndan, you see it too, just a small shivering little thing on the bank of the river. Until it looks up at you with these two large black beady eyes, and it slowly just sort of shifts along the ground towards you, and then begins to speed up when it recognizes you. It's your Quasit. Turns out, spent the night pretty much next to the river. It sort of runs up to you, and then Oramis, as it gets to you, it sort of climbs up your arm and leaps on your shoulder, and it's just like, and sort of like paws at your hair a little bit. It's weird having a devil for a familiar, but yeah, it's here. You just so happen to find it.
It's that.
I do an investigation because like this is the first time I've actually noticed this thing. I'm like, why is no one else freaking out about this thing? I'm not the only one who can see
Simon's
it.
not even sure it's real.
Yeah, Carmen, you just see this
Just
weird.
hallucinating.
I mean,
No
look
one-
up.
no one
I mean,
actually-
look up a Quasit, and
Yeah, I've
you'll.
seen it.
Yeah.
Big, weird fucking eyes.
Yeah, bug eyes, this little like goblin thing with these weird bug eyes and stuff, like antennae, and yeah, it's just sort of gone up, and then it looks at you, Kaiman, or at least you think it's looking at you because its eyes are like big, black, and bulbous, and it just sort of stares towards you. looks back, scuttles around Oramis for a second in what you can only imagine is a little gleeful little trot around Oramis's feet. But nevertheless, you continue up the path of the river with your perception very, very high. You all manage to make it to the very, very end of the river, where you are now on the other side of the sort of like cliff face, the ridge where the old castle sits atop. And as you come up to this point in the river, you can see there are many pieces of ruins that have fallen from the skies above, as if parts of the old castle sort of fell off and landed down here. The river sort of like swerves around these old ruins as if it's come after them and it's trying to sort of find a path around them and between them. And you can see up ahead of you with your perception checks, particularly with some of your past perception as well, you can see a few cultists standing at the base of a set of stairs that climbs all the way up to this almost like pool, this large pool where water is trickling in from above, from this like mountain that's from this like waterfall that's almost like within sort of about halfway up this really tall cliff. Water sort of trickling within that. You can see some cultists at the base, and behind this pool is a large cave opening, large circular cave opening. In actual fact, what you can see is this. You may need to zoom out all the way to see the full sort of scope of the map. So you guys are way down at the bottom. You see two individuals way up the top. One thing I will say is Oramis and Gylndan, you both see also inside this, you might just see just the very tip of this cave, and you can see a very slight sort of flickering fire within, as if within there is something. You guys are clearly guarding something. But I would say Oramis, one thing you notice with the 28, it's very, very difficult to notice, is in the pool around sort of way over here, you see almost like this fin of something just emerge and go back beneath the water, as if something is taking a bit of a swim within this space. So you're all here in this bit. Before we finish, is there anything, any ideas, anything quick anyone would like to do? Anyone would like to prepare?
We're quite far away from them, aren't we?
You are. You can certainly try and move up a little bit to the other set of ruins with another stealth check, if you would like to.
I think maybe we try that. Oh, that's a good question.
Pardon, sorry?
How deep is the river?
That's a very good question. It's about sort of waist height where you guys are now.
So a big ass crocodile won't be able to sneak through.
I mean, you have a swim speed, and it's waist height, which means that there is certainly space below, and it is jungle water. It is murky jungle water here. It's so with a good stealth check, you certainly could try.
Aye. Yes, I will approach via the water, my natural habitat.
All right.
We'll try.
So Kaiman is going to. Are you going in with your armor as well, or are you just?
I probably should. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So get in the water. It might raise the DC of the check slightly if you're going in with your armor, but nevertheless, Kaiman sort of steps in the water.
My armor helps with stealth.
Your armor helps with stealth? Oh, yeah, your armor doesn't give you disadvantage on stealth. But in this water, it is still, bright, almost like Aztec-looking armor. So it might raise the DC of it slightly, but it won't give you disadvantage. So, yeah, Kaiman, if you want to, you can swim a little closer with the stealth check.
If we've still got Mazzy's past that trace up, I'd quite like to push up to this.
Could I use survival?
I'd say No, this would definitely be a stealth check.
Yes.
Trying not to be seen.
Good idea. Yes.
But you are fine. Yeah,
Use
you are
stealth.
right at
Good.
the end of Mazzy's pass without a trace.
Okay.
Right at the very crest of it. So I'd say,
Are we happy to push up here while Carmen swims up?
yeah, absolutely.
Sure.
So you guys can move up there at your own leisure. Carmen, yeah, you're still in the water, and you are thinking you are absolutely fine in the water here.
Reminds me of home.
Do you want to stealth check from us then? Or?
Yes, please. Yeah, stealth checks from everyone else as you're pushing up. I'll roll 1 or 2 for. I've got Ponsky as a werewolf, but at the minute he's not a werewolf. He's regular old Ponsky. Oh, thank God for the pass trace of Ponsky, though. The Pon, indeed. If I shall. I've got an 18. Nice. Okay, so it seems like everyone does a pretty good job. Oh, 16. What's that? That's perception. Oh, 10. Fantastic. That's perception is 10.
Oh, so we couldn't actually have failed that.
Not against them, but
It's the thing in the water.
let me see. Your passive perception is 11. No, so you're fine. Yeah, you guys are absolutely fine. You continue to push up, and you make it to there. Oramis, I'm assuming you've obviously said there is something in the water. So I guess what would your plan be now? Now that you're a little bit closer, you can get a little bit more of a view of these cultists. They do just look like the regular sort of basic cultists. The pathway goes up about 30 feet, so this waterfall is about sort of 30 feet tall. And I'll allow, with Oramis's indication of something potentially being in the water, I'd allow people to try and make checks to identify that if they wish.
Investigation?
No, I would say this is perception, because investigation would be you physically getting in the water and looking for it.
Sorry, Ben, did I say I wasn't doing that?
Hey, you can do that if you want.
No, I'm good. I won't look. I'll just have a firebolt held and ready.
Cool. So you got a firebolt held and ready. Is anyone else trying to take a better look at what's in the water, or are you just
I'm sure.
hoping and praying? You are very short. Well, this section here would be where you can see if you were to go around the ruins, of course.
You guys are about to see an episode of River Monsters.
What's that? Don't have that here in Ambyr.
Oh, it's a play that went roaming around a little bit.
I love the idea that every TV show reference we make is we just palm it off as a play. Any weird one where a chef just goes around and shouts at people?
When you've got a place like Inksworth, that shit happens all the time.
That's fair.
Lots of sort of back alley, like small back alley productions and things like that.
These amateur student productions.
I was going to say, like school production.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, I'll tell you what, it is 10:30, so I'll say that we'll pick up next session with you guys, with a couple of cultists at the forefront, and something potentially in the water there. But the last thing I'd say is, as you sort of get closer, some of you with high passive perceptions can sort of hear these cultists speaking, and one of them sort of shouts over to the other. Over the sound of the waterfall, they definitely have to shout. And he says, why do you think everyone's been sent to the coasts? I mean, I haven't heard much about it. Usually there's half a dozen of us protecting this place. Feels, I don't know, I feel naked. Naked? That's a bit weird. The wizard said he saw some vision or something. Apparently the Guardians are coming in. Don't worry. We should be alright. Especially with, they both sort of look towards the water. Yeah, that thing gives me the creeps. I mean, I do not wish to question the Black Prophet's methods, but did it have to be so ugly? The other one says, quiet. That thing that's in there that you call ugly is the work of a being that is much greater than us. The amalgamation of the two greatest beings, the two most powerful beings on this earth. You should be wise to hush your mouth, particularly when, he could maybe hear you. Oh, yeah, sorry. Maybe we should just be quiet for a little while. Never know what's about in here. Yeah, sure. Also don't want to piss that thing off. So long as it's in the water, it should be calm. I was told it likes the water, it likes bathing. They both just remain fairly quiet and somber after that. One of them sort of looking as if he's trying to strike up conversation because he's really bored, but the other one looking very stoic. But I'd say that's pretty much it. That's sort of like the kinds of things you guys hear as you get closer. Except for Kaiman, who is underwater and happy. Yeah. Kaiman, a like small fish, just comes past you, like, nom. Lovely. But yeah, that is it. Thank you very, very much for joining me this week. And I should catch you guys next week for another